Station.
You live.
Are we on?
You live.
Hi, everybody in the Sadior Radio Land. We're here on the Uncensored show. We're gonna be ending the month of March out with some beautiful Black entrepreneurs. We're gonna be celebrating, what do they call it? Women History Month, but I call it just Women's Month. So we have 5 powerful Black women that's on here that's making a difference in their community. And they done started organizations, and I'm going to I'm not going to introduce them. They're going to introduce themselves. So who wants to be the first person to introduce themselves and their organization and what motivated them to start their organization and everything? Well, hold on. What? Maybe we'll go with Black because she is our.
Oh, I'm listen. I done been your co-host. Everybody know my spill. You gonna put me up first?
We don't know nothing.
Really?
So we could warm up. So the ladies could warm up. You can show them how we do this. So Black is gonna introduce herself to those who are first time listeners and tell us what is your organization or business that you have, what motivated you to start it, and what are you doing in the community with it.
Okay. No, let me start. Well, for all our new people out there, first off, out there in Sadior Land and Uncensored, my name is Lakeisha Buckley, but I'm AKA Black Glory. My company is Pretty Princess Cosmetics, and I have a program called Princess Academy. My company is a makeup line for young ladies that perform. So young ladies that dance, that cheerlead, that model, that play soccer or do anything.
I'm sorry. Somebody said
pretty. My company is for them.
Mark, can you check? Because I'm getting messages saying that we sound bad on Facebook. But I'm sorry, guys. We just want to make sure the audio is good. Don't come over here. We're gonna get the feedback. But go out there and see if you hear us good. Like if we're like double feedback or whatever. Okay, continue.
Sounds fine to me.
It's for them.
Sound good to me.
All right, so I don't know why y'all texting me saying that, but go ahead. Maybe it's their phone. Go ahead.
Well, anyways, so the makeup line is a soft makeup line, lip gloss, eye glitter, light eyeshadow, stuff like that to make little girls look pretty. But the whole purpose of the company is to empower young ladies and really let them know about, the inner beauty. So although we're helping them, glam up and feel confident and, give them, positive vibes and congratulate them on, winning championships and, always winning and, keeping that in the front of their mind. We also want to, make sure that they know that beauty is on the inside, that they have the best qualities, and to really build up their morale and boost their self-esteem. And what really prompted that for me was, when I was a young lady in the same, situation, I danced on stage with dance groups and, was into a lot of that kind of stuff and performing arts and all of that kind of stuff. And, being, having highly melanated skin, it was really hard to, find the things that I thought, would make me pretty. And the world was pretty harsh to young ladies with my skin color. So that's what prompted me to bring the message out and put the brand together that, beauty is on the inside, but to really, get out in the community and help other young ladies, other Black girls and everything, be pretty.
Okay. Thank you. That was
and Princess Academy. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sis.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you tell them about, what is the Princess Academy and how are you working with the young girls and how does the Princess Academy work and that's how you work?
So Pretty Princess does a lot in the community. Right. So I work with a lot of dance teams cheer teams, a lot of young ladies that's up and coming and modeling and everything. So we have Princess Academy, which is a whole program where we teach young ladies a entire sales model on how to start their own business, and we encourage them to be, entrepreneurs, and just step out and do their own thing. It's a pleasure, and it's been a wonderful journey working with these young ladies. I pretty much, had to, get out in the community and just try to build up the brand and build up young ladies, reaching out and establishing wonderful relationships with, young girls from ages 5 all the way up to 20 years old. Shout out to Trends and Treasures. Shout out to Kit Kat and a lot of other women that have businesses, have modeling agencies and dance teams and dance groups who really took helped my vision and really helped me bring it to manifestation. Shout out to Coach Ebony, Coach KO, and all of them, a lot of the dance groups out here. So it's been a wonderful journey. So I have a couple of young ladies that's going through Princess Academy right now, where they're learning my sales model, learning how to build their own lip gloss brand, learning how to, just build whatever business it is that they, want to step out into. And in the program, I definitely train them. I bring them along so they can shadow me on some of my, my trade shows and different, I teach them a lot of my marketing tools and, how to make flyers, how to promote yourself, how to take inventory, how to deal with the money part and shipping. So it's just really fun. And a lot of them are really, really intelligent and have super great ideas. So it's been fun working with young people. They are so bright-minded now these days.
Did you mention what ages you work with? The age, like right now, like what are the ages are you working with?
Yeah.
5 to
20.
Okay. Okay. So you're teaching young girls how to be entrepreneurs, get that money real early so they don't have to be dependent on nobody.
Absolutely.
We won't go there.
Right. Yes. Teaching them about their power, how, being pretty comes with responsibility. It's just not about being, pretty and putting on makeup, that you have a lot of responsibilities and, really learning what their purpose is. A lot of us have been walking around here for years and years and we don't know our God-given purpose. And, it's a wonderful thing to enlighten young ladies, because I was once in their shoes. And it's just been a really great journey. I have, 2 young ladies now. I have one young lady, Razia Kai. She's a MUA, a makeup artist, and she is 12 years old, and she's doing a wonderful job. And she is starting her lip gloss. She's doing makeup tutorials. She has clients. She has a whole heap of Macomb. So it's been really great working with those 2 young ladies.
Okay. And we also, for those of y'all who watch the show, we have some news to tell y'all. I don't know if you want to do it now or you want to wait to the end, Black. Keisha.
It's your call, sis. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Okay. I'm here. You can't hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay.
You hear?
Yeah, we hear you. Hello? Y'all hear me?
Okay. Can you see me? I'm here.
Okay, yeah. So those of you guys that are watching, that are normally listen and tune in, we had took a break before the New Year's, and then we had said we were gonna revise the show, and we came back. It was me, Black, and another a male co-host, but things we revised it again, and both Black and Rod, they have other businesses where it's sometimes conflicting with our show and stuff. So they like right now, Black is on here as guest. She's going to be coming on as guest whenever she can. But for now, moving forward, I'm going to be the main host because I'm the one with the least to do, I guess. I just have my little 9 to 5. but they have all these other businesses that they're
Don't
running.
say that.
This is my only second business, but they really out here. They got a whole bunch of businesses that they trying to run, and it really just be conflicting with the show. But we all family, so it's still all love.
Can
so
I say something? Can I say it a little better?
Okay, go ahead.
Can I say it a little better?
Okay.
Okay, because I don't know what she's saying. So anyway, she's trying to say it on a small note. But I definitely want to congratulate you, sister. Everybody that's out there listening and know we started off with Thick Girls Radio. And all of that started because of Fatima. That, all of this with the whole Sadior Radio, everything started because of her. So this was something that she really, put together and was really the forefront of, and she coordinated a lot. And I just want to congratulate you, sis, because this is a wonderful vision. As y'all see, I own Pretty Princess Cosmetics, and we are going into a retail location. So I just wanted to, so that is the reason why. And Ra, he has his other stuff. So we're going retail. So I'm going to be full time out there in the grind. But Fatima has been really working hard at this, and she deserves this to be her platform. I love her vision. I love how dedicated she is to this. And this is going to be a wonderful thing for her. I would love to come in and sit in on, some shows, but I don't really think I told you how proud of you I am, even though she drilled the queen and build the queen, but that is what you do when you're passionate about something. And that's what I wanted her to know. This is her passion. This is what she believes in. This is her drive. And she's hell of a good at it. I'm good at sales, and I'm good at doing what I do. And this is her thing. So this is
I'm good at talking, right?
Well, I don't know. You good at you good at investigating. You good at bringing out the facts and all that stuff. So, congratulations to her. So yes, Uncensored is her solely. She get to bring her vision. She get to do all of this, all her dedication and hard work, and all the credit is going to go to her as she deserves. So it was a pleasure working with you. I learned a lot of things on this show. I learned that this is not my passion and I'm going to stay in my lane and not to take too many things on, because when you got your thing, you stick to your thing. So I love it, but thank you. It was a wonderful thing, and I'm glad to see it evolve, and proud of you, and glad to see it grow.
We'll still be seeing more of you on the show. I'm pretty sure when I be like, okay, but we need to hear you. We need you to pull up. I'm sure you ain't gonna be seeing now, right?
No, I'm here. I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work behind the scenes with her,
Okay, so that was that news that we had to tell y'all. So now we're gonna move on to the rest of the guests that's on the show. Who's gonna volunteer? First of all, we want to shout everybody out on Facebook and Instagram that's popped in. Moni, Vanessa, everybody that's Hamina, I don't know, TM Pantherfly, Sexy DeLon, everybody that's on, holla. Thanks for joining us. It's a lot going on. We have Neek 9793. Hi, everybody. So who want to be the next one on the panel that's going to introduce themselves and their organization or the company that they're going, that they started?
I'll go. Even though Gloria is a tough act to fire, well, she got a lot going on. I'm Purity. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Precise Into Hope. I started this foundation in honor of my daughter, Precise Tucker Legacy. She passed away in 2018. And I started the foundation with her name because we are ambassadors of hope for the community, for families in our community. Through my loss, I learned that there's a lot of people out there that's hurting. And there's a lot of people that needs healing. And when people were coming to me to console me, I ended up consoling them. So I was like, you know what, this foundation, God might have, I don't want to say took my daughter for this reason, but things happen for a reason. And my passion always been to help people. I always had an intrinsic nature to help people. So I started this foundation to give people a safe haven, a place to come to, release and heal talk about things that they normally don't talk about, because us in our community, the Black community, we feel like we're built for anything. We're strong. We can get through it all. I have so many stories, things that I went through, and people be like, oh, wow, that's like, for us in our community, that's nothing. We used to that. But it's really traumatic things that can affect us in the long run. And we don't know why we react to certain things because of the traumatic things that we've been through in our younger years and through our childhood. So this is why I started the Precise and for Hope. Our mission is to make a difference so people can start dealing with their emotions and begin to heal, the healing process. Because I've learned, I understand why people do certain things. I used to be like, why would that man have road rage and just blow that nigga away like that? Like, why are they so angry? People are angry because they're not healing, they're not dealing with their problems and their struggles on a healthy basis. They are holding it in, and then one thing pop off, one thing go wrong, they having a bad day, and there it goes. They letting it off on everybody. So that's my story and why I started the Precise and Tell Hope.
And I you know why I'm proud. I'm proud of all of y'all. But they always say that so often in grief they say you find a mission and a purpose. And I feel like you have definitely found your mission and purpose. Like you said, a lot of people go through stuff like that, and it breaks them. But you immediately, I'm not gonna say bounce back, but you immediately took that energy and put it towards something positive. And I just want to commend you and acknowledge, that, I was there. I seen how tough it was, and I see the growth in you, and I see, I'm just super proud of you. So I just want to say that.
With your show, I told you, I knew you was going to be a success from the beginning when you started. I said, this one thing you know how to do is talk. You are
let's share that story, P. So when when I was promoting the show, this is my home team right here. These are my real life friends, So we got these little group chats or whatever. So I'm like, oh, I'm a little nervous. This one right here said, you nervous or what? You could do this in your sleep.
Yes. She know how to debate, boy. Oh my gosh, she know how to debate. So I said,
praise God.
I knew she was going to be a success with
this. She should be an attorney now.
That's what I always wanted to be. I always wanted to be attorney. My mom always wanted me to be a lawyer too. So I can't be I'll be a radio host instead. Yeah. Okay. We be in some of the comments. People are saying, "Hey, ladies. Yes, she had 9 strong ladies. I guess that's 9. You definitely brought mental health awareness to the group. Oh yes, that's another thing. Moni talks. That's the comment that she left about Purity. Purity definitely brought mental health awareness to our circle. Like you want to talk about how you went to therapy, and sometimes we be talking shit, and she be like, y'all don't understand. People be, that you don't know if people be going through stuff, and that's mental illness and all that. So she's one of the people that made me the way I am too. When I be like, there ain't nothing but mental illness. Black, she's one of the people that got me convinced that, is this some people just going through some mental illnesses right now. So I will, that is true. You bring mental awareness.
It's so much people.
I'm sure you don't diagnose everybody, Purity, now.
No, I'm not diagnosing.
I do that.
Let me tell this. My foundation, we are not here to heal. I don't have the answers. I connect people. I partner up with certain things, and I give them resources for them to go for professional help. Because see, we could sit here and we could judge and we could say this and that and how we think people should heal, but that's not. Nobody is no straight line. There's no book on how people handle things and deal with grief and how people handle their personal lives and how they deal with certain traumas. So that's the professionals. I'm just here to help, you express and talk and direct you and point you into the right place. Like I always encourage all my friends to go get therapy. I used to be against it. I was like, that's not for us. That's for them other folks. Black people, we don't need therapy. We don't need this. To my traumatic loss, I learned, and that therapist opened my eyes to a lot of things. And I also tell people, don't get discouraged, because the therapy is like shopping for a pair of shoes. You can't, it's not one size fits all. You have to shop around. The first one or the second one, you might not be comfortable. You will build that vibe. That's one thing I always say, vibes don't lie. So when you get the right therapist, you're going to know you're comfortable with that. You're not just somebody entertaining them or they eating their popcorn. It's going to be the right person to heal you and put you on the right track. Not heal you, but a healing I don't think happens. Like, it's not a set time. Like,
I want to say something to piggyback off what you said about, I encourage therapy and counseling as well. And like you said, sometimes it's like shopping. Like when I was going through issues within my marriage, we had more than one marriage counselor. The first one we went to was shitty. Then we had to go to another one, and the same thing with therapy. When I went to therapy, I had to go through 2 therapists. So a lot of people sometimes go to therapy for the first session. They'd be like, "Oh, this ain't for me. I wasn't feeling them, and this, that, and the third." So that's very important that we point that out. That just because you don't have chemistry or connection, you don't feel that connection with the first person that you see, that don't stop there. Most of the time we know that if we need help, we don't want to admit it, but we know we may need somebody else that that we could talk to. And it's not even about, sometimes therapy and counseling is just a good idea, because sometimes we want to talk and say stuff that we might not want to tell our loved ones or somebody that we know that's going to judge us. So it's better to speak to somebody professional about it. What you say?
A neutral person that's going to tell you that don't have no connection to you, no feelings, that's going to really tell you, give you the truth, give it to you raw, so you can help you heal.
Yes.
Yeah,
so
I think on that therapy is quite essential.
Huh?
Yes, therapy is essential, she said.
No, I was saying that therapy is quite essential, even for younger people as well. When you think about therapy, you always think about adults receiving therapy, but when I had a therapist, I was very young and I was traumatized because my mom was on drugs. She was on crack cocaine, and they recommended that for me, and it was really hard for my family, because in our Black community, we don't think we need therapists, just like you were saying, Purity. So but I was telling, my grandmother and my family that I think that would be a good idea for me to talk to some people, because it was hard for me to talk to them and open up. And it was hard for them to understand, because they was like, "Oh, you're fine. We're here for you. You still have your whole family." Yeah, but you guys are not my mother, and y'all don't know, what it's doing to me on the inside, seeing my mom like that. And I think right now, to this day, it was beneficial, to the current relationship that I have with my mom, because my little brother didn't go to therapy and he didn't take the same plan that I took. I think he's still, a little bit bruised, and he's still a little bit bitter about the situation. Although mom is fully recovered and she plays a pivotal role in our lives now, he still is not getting past forgiving her from the past, which is really, really, been a challenge for him mentally and emotionally. So, just to add on, therapy is really essential for even young ones.
Yeah, I just actually posted about that. I don't know. It's something that led me to that. I mean, everybody has history with mental health in their family. And I just had something happen in my family, and it made me think. I was like, you know what? Many things happen to you. You could be in relationships, friends, parents. They may have hurt you, but as adults, it's our job to heal ourselves. Though it takes, it takes a mindset to want to heal yourself, but it is our responsibility. We can't continue in life to say, "Oh, this person did this to me." At some point in life, you have to take charge and say, "Okay, I need help." You can't continue to say, "Oh, my mother did this and my whoever did whatever." We have to heal ourselves and surround ourselves with people who encourage that, because, in the Black community, it's been looked at as a negative, as a stigma to go to therapy. But I'm loving now, it's been talked about so much, mental health, so I'm loving the conversation about it, because your health is your wealth, and it starts in the mind.
And I
Well
also,
said.
I wanna read a comment. Some comments said, mental illness is real. People don't understand how serious it is. I'm trying to help someone now with mental illness, and the up and downs are a lot to deal with. People laugh, say, "Oh, she's crazy," or he's nuts. No, or he's not knowing what this person been through. You got to be strong to deal with. Somebody else says, yes, my daughter has a problem, but I can't talk to her. It's best to talk to a therapist. I have 30 years clean, but she don't understand where I'm coming from sometimes. We will get through it together. And somebody else says, Moni says, break the curse. Yes, so I will say that I don't want to take away from people's situation. I get what Ayana was saying, but I also want to emphasize on childhood trauma. It plays a big deal on our lives and how we grow up, as adults or whatever. But I am a strong believer that at some point we gotta grab the bull by its horn and take, accountability and control of our life. But a lot of us are the way that we are due to some of our parenting and some of the stuff that we went to. So I don't, and that's what we have Cheryl who's on there. She's who's going to be talking to. She's a therapist, and we're going to be talking about some of the common traumas that most people go through. And she's gonna pick out. I guess we're gonna let everybody speak, and I guess we're gonna save Cheryl for last. Is that okay with you, Cheryl? You're on mute.
Yes, that's fine. That works.
Okay. So the next runner up is my girl Nicole. She's another one that's
Team of people saying you echoing.
Huh?
You got to echo.
I know. I don't know. I kind of hear it myself. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry, guys, for y'all that's hearing the echo. I hear it myself. I don't know why is it doing it. It's never ever done that before.
Turn your phones down.
Yeah, it's down. Is it on both ends?
It's on the uncensored. I know that.
Echo. Host has echo. So I guess being that I have such an echo, then I'm gonna try to not talk so much and let you guys talk.
Impossible.
So go ahead. Who's next up? Nicole.
Well, since you called me out, I'll go. My name is Nicole, aka Nikki. Everybody knows me as Nikki. I am the CEO and founder of Life Empowered. I used to previously run a different organization, and then I decided to start Life Empowered just to get a little deeper into why I really started to do a lot of the work that I do. And it had a lot to do with my son. So Life Empowered is really geared to change people's lives and empower them with resources and tools to be successful. So whether it's GED preparation, whether it's feeding you a hot meal, whether it's a book bag drive, whether it's a woman empowerment leadership, whether it's a toy drive, whatever it is that we can do to affect families and help them feel better, love themselves, encourage one another. We're just here to just touch everybody's lives and empower them. A lot of people don't realize why I got into community. So I'm gonna share with the world, because I think nobody even ever asked me, like, why did you decide to do this for the last 9 years? And a lot of it is because when my son was born, he was diagnosed with epilepsy. And yes, he hasn't had an episode since he was 3, but he'll be 14 next month. And dealing with a newborn or a baby that's having seizures and you don't really know what to do, you don't know how to handle it. I got a lot of, he won't do this, he won't do that, he can't play sports. And I grew up playing basketball my entire life. So to know that your child cannot play something that you love is disappointing. But I realized down the road when he got about 4 or 5, the best way to turn no's into yeses is through action. So when we first started our first basketball tournament, it was really to give my son the space to play basketball. So that's really how my basketball tournament started. 9 years ago because I wanted to create that space for him. And like I said, he'll be 14. He plays football. He plays basketball. There's nothing he don't do. He knows how to read music. He plays the piano. Like there's nothing he does not know how to do. And I encourage him to do it all. So taking me back, if I didn't encourage myself to do this for my child, what do other families have that, or who's helping them encourage them to be better in life? So my biggest thing was to make sure that I was available to my community. I was available to my friends. I was even available to people who probably just don't like me, but you're going to need me, right? And I got to love on you despite it. And even the ones that despitefully use me, I still got to love on you. And I'm still going to help you. And if you come to something that I give and you need, I'm going to give it. I don't care like who, what, when, and how. I'm here to serve. And that's my biggest purpose in life. So for me, if anybody know me, I do like 1,000 things. It's like never stop. Like I'm always coming up with ideas to help families, and you guys
have me volunteering on proper kind of charity. Anytime y'all see me on my page doing charity work, this is the woman behind it. Her and Simone always got the whole team doing some volunteer work.
Yes, they the real MVP. They the real MVP. Y'all queen.
Yes,
absolutely.
They are.
Simone is definitely, let me tell you, I'll be like, Simone, I got an idea. She be like, oh Lord. I'll be like, how do you think about having a mother sipping paint brunch in the park? Who would have thought of that? What can I tell you? It got full.
Hold on, you gotta talk about that. The next the two events that's coming.
Yes, I have a lot. So when we open that up, I'll talk about it. But I think about what's different. I think about what can affect change. And my biggest thing that I always tell people, be the change you want to see. Like we talk so much, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of that. But what are you doing about it? Like if you're not doing anything about it, then don't come to me and tell me about anything, because you're not changing it. You're not changing anything around you. If it's somebody around you, why you're around them? You allow people in your space, right? If somebody is being detrimental to your well-being, then you got to remove them. Like we got to be the change we want to see and stop complaining about it. So Life and Power gives
Nicole,
you that.
I want to say one thing, Nicole. That what you just now said, I literally just made that comment when we was talking on. I was saying that on Facebook. I'm the type of person, it's a thin line between sympathy and irritation for me. Because I could feel sorry for you or have sympathy for you, but when you keep saying the same, when you keep going through the same stuff and you ain't trying to make no change, now I'm annoyed and now I'm irritated. So I'll be like, I have a harder goal, but then I get irritated real fast. I'll be like, all right now, so what you gonna do about this? It's been how long now we let you?
I stopped asking people what they're gonna do about it and just leave it alone, right? Because everybody knows when you're tired, you're tired. So when you're ready to throw in the towel, you will. So I'm gonna be that person that's gonna encourage you, good or bad. Oh, you still in it? Okay. All right. Well, what you need from me, right? Oh, you need my ear? All right. I'm never gonna take it personal because it could have been me, but God saw fit that it's not. So therefore, I'm not even gonna let it irritate my spirit. I'm gonna know, Lord, when they ready to come out of that, they gonna come out of that. But I'm gonna keep my joy, and you ain't gonna disrupt my peace because you want to stay in that. But I'm gonna love you through it.
I get irritated because then when you keep calling me with it, or keep calling me the story, I'm like, okay, it's been how long now?
You guys like, all right, I'm gonna leave it right there.
It's the limit. It's the time limit to my sympathy before I get annoyed. I guess that, look, P, that's what you was talking about.
That's the work you need to have.
Yes. You got to remove yourself for the situation, because people are people. They're going to live their life how they want to live it. Like, you can't live for anybody else. And don't judge them for living how they want to live. Like,
exactly.
when they feel it's
Simone said, no, she's tapping out. Exactly. Everybody has their friends that know what to do. Yeah, I'm a good listener, but I'm about making like what we gonna do to fix the problem. I don't keep you hearing you complain about the problem. So what kind of solutions are we gonna come up with?
Is that person living and ready for solutions?
Right.
Sometimes the problem is their mindset. So you can't change the mindset.
I don't want to hear
all in the mindset.
So sometimes you gotta leave them where they at.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because it could be just their mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you gotta sometimes just leave them where they at and say, you know what, I'm gonna leave you right there, because until you got to change your mindset to get anything you want, right? And that's where it's very big. I'm big on changing no's into yeses. Like, you can't tell me no, because I'm gonna find a way to make that a yes. That's just me. Simone will tell you. She be like, no, Nicole. I'll be like, but all right. Then the next day I text her, hey girl. So back to what I was. I'm gonna get a yes.
Talk about that.
I'm gonna get a yes.
I know you didn't really mean no, girl. You didn't really mean no.
Right. You ain't really mean no. You really may give you a day to think about it. So it's a new day, right? So I'm big on that, because behind everything that's good, it's gonna be a yes, right? Because it's good for people, it's good for others. So a yes has to come out of that. You just gotta find
the person who's gonna say yes.
Hi, everybody that's joining in on Instagram and Facebook.
But yeah, that's pretty much what we're about. We just started our AAU program. It's led by one of my closest, bestest friends, Phil Grant. He took on a whole nother dimension that I did not know Life and Power would go. So now, not only are we affecting change in communities, we're affecting change in young men. And we're giving them a platform to have people who, and I would like to use this term lightly, but they're the people they see in the mirror, right? A lot of times we don't see successful Black men every day. So we're pairing you up with successful Black men, because you can see I may be from the hood, but I made it out the hood. Right. Mm-hmm. And so it's very important that our young Black men see that, and they see that daily.
Well,
so
even if you want to stay in the hood, you could be successful in the hood by helping the hood too.
There you go. And that's me, girl. I'm from the hood. Like, that's me. Awesome. I'm Bed-Stuy, born and raised to I die. Right. Mm-hmm. And nobody can tell me you can't make it. Mother grew up 3 kids by 17. You know what I mean? Like, first child, 14, 16, 17, on public assistance. You can't tell me I done got my college degree, 1-year master's. So I'm hood, but I also know how to be the other way as well. And so I want people to understand, like, when you tell me, oh, I'm struggling, girl, I struggle. Okay. Them peanut butter and jellies, I still love peanut butter and jelly.
Right.
To this day. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I will bust down the oodles and noodles, but I also could go to Ruth Chris and the rest of these great restaurants and eat good. Right. But I'm never going to forget where I came from. So I think it's important that people see us. Right. Like, we stay humble, and our community see us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
But that's it. That's Life Empowered. Visit our website.
Amazing.
I'm so proud of y'all. I'm so proud.
Yes, most definitely.
This is my makeshift mic.
That's why you so busy, Nicole. You started early. You said 14, 15, 16. You said you started at 14. I never even knew that.
My mother. No. My son. No. My mother started. My mother had her first child at 14. Then she had another one at 16, and she had another one at 17.
We have that in common.
No. No, my mom started early, but that's like a perfect example, like how people could sit here and they could be like, oh, you came from a teenage mom, you're not going to be successful. No, I changed the narrative. I am going to be successful. Right. And so Life Empowered is about changing the narrative. Like, we got to change it.
Yo, it's so crazy that you say that, because my sister, my blood sister, she had my niece with her first child, which is my oldest niece, when she was a teenager. And sometimes we go through stuff so our kids will not have to go through it. And she was animated about her kids. She had 2 daughters, that her kids were not going to be no teenage mothers. And thank God both of my nieces graduated from school and college, and they, you know, before they had any kids or anything like that. So sometimes people need to take the stuff that they went through and make them motivated, so they kids don't have to go through that.
Yeah, I agree. We got to change the narrative. That's all it is.
So Ayana, you didn't speak about your organization, did you?
No, I didn't go yet.
So Ayana has speaking about changing the narrative and doing things that we didn't normally do or get. when we were older, when we were younger. We're gonna talk about Ayana's business that she does. Take it away, Ayana.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you for having me on your platform. I'm excited to be a guest. Not in the chat, right? So my organization is Dare to Dream Leaders, Inc., and it's a nonprofit organization as well. And my audience are middle school and high school students. And before I tell you about what I do, I like to give a little backstory about why it came into fruition as well. So my organization was birthed out of tragedy. In 2003, my brother was murdered in our hood. I grew up in East Flatbush. And at that time, you know, I always loved working with kids, but I knew that we needed to do something in the community so this wouldn't happen. It was a repeated thing, and you don't ever think it's going to happen in your life, but you get that 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning phone call, and that's what happened to me. Now my brother, he was so full of life. Like as kids, he was an entrepreneur. Like he was bake cookies, bake cakes. He could sell anything, and I just loved his drive. So thinking about like, what could I do for the community? I thought about all of his strengths. He took baking cookies, and then he went to the streets with all his skills. I said he could have been like a great businessman if he took what he did with drugs and things like that and didn't take it to the streets. He would have been an amazing person and still here with us today. But unfortunately, like a lot of our Black men, the streets got to him first. So what I do with Dare to Dream is I try to help the youth become future dynamic leaders. That's our mission. We want them to be leaders in the community. And when I thought about all the segments of what I wanted to add into my organization, he was my avatar. Like I said, he was an entrepreneur. So we have an entrepreneurship program where we help youth who want to start their own businesses learn how to do that. We expose business owners that look like them, who are doing stuff in the community to come but in front of them, like in a youth panel, a group panel, to tell them what they did and how they did it. We also do a lot of community service. We have book bag drives, we have clothing drives. We partner with other organizations and churches and do things like that every summer. We also have a financial literacy program where we educate them on how to save. Like, what is credit? How many of us on this call right now wish we knew what credit is, right?
I know my mama didn't teach me nothing about no credit.
Right?
That's why
credit
I love
card.
your organization. That is a great idea to teach kids
Thank you. You know,
the credit.
Because that was the biggest failure of our education system. That's the biggest failure of any hood, anything, and everywhere. Credit and
not telling us.
We don't know nothing about that until we
listen.
Like,
I get that question.
It was made that way. They wanted to set it up so we can.
It was a setup.
They didn't want us to learn. They don't want us to go and move up and own things. They want us to continue to blow our money. Don't set up credit line. Don't know about business line of credit. Don't own nothing. No homes or anything. Yep. Can you imagine if we would have been buying up our hood?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Remember when they were selling the brownstones for $1?
All of those white people coming in, moving into, building up around my projects in Astoria. They built all around us. That was prime real estate. But we didn't know that back then. If we would have known that, we would have got together and started buying up those stores.
Exactly.
Those businesses.
Yes, and we could do that now. It's all about legacy building. Financial literacy is all about legacy. And I say that all the time. I said, if I knew all the stuff that I knew that I'm educating the youth on now, like I would have been a millionaire right now, you know? So it's so important.
You know, when we grew up,
exactly.
It's so funny because the difference of when we grew up, it's like, when we grew up, they talked about credit like it was a bad thing. You don't need no credit. Or if you got money, you good. You don't need no credit.
Right.
Like we were taught the total opposite of what we really needed to know.
That was the trick. That was the trick. That was the trick, though. That was the trick.
We don't see you, Black.
That was the trick.
Black, hit your audio. I mean your video.
She turned her camera off probably.
Yeah, camera's off.
That's the design, and we gotta break that. That's just like the design for therapy and everything. They want us to think we don't need that and all that. They want us to self-destruct.
Exactly.
Show,
Yes,
we're gonna do big things with our organization. We got good teams. I got my friends, AOD, they behind me, they help me. I got y'all out. I'm building my dream team.
That's right, your dream team.
We're gonna help.
But luckily now we do have the right information, and as you can see, all of us are definitely playing an intricate part of, you know, our own plan and in our communities. And this is what it's all about. It's all about, once you get that knowledge, you know, transitioning that into power and becoming more active.
And don't be mad, like just because 5 of us can get a mental health organization.
Exactly.
Just because somebody's doing the same thing you're doing does not mean. I learned that from my cousin from the Beauty Boutique. She had a salon on Fulton Street. And I went to her one day, I went to her salon, me and PT was walking, Mom, she was like, "Mom, this is all these salons." And I said, "You know what, Rakia, I noticed it's a whole bunch of salons and you still in business, like you ain't right next door to you." She said, "You know what, cuz what's for me was for me. It's for me."
Yes.
Clientele, what they business is they business. My clients is for me. And ever since then I learned that, and that is so true. People, that's what we all do the same thing. Your people, your clients.
Look at the Chinese restaurants. The Chinese restaurants, maybe 3 Chinese restaurants on a 2-block.
We don't have to be in competition. Resource sharing.
We could learn and network from each other. Let's build off each other. Your clients is for you, and my customers is for me. You know,
together we achieve more.
Black people got to get that out their head too. It's no competition. You do what you do, and I'm gonna do what I do, and we come together and network.
It's so many people stuck who have ideas who don't want to do something because they're like, "Oh, I don't want this person to steal my idea." But no, even if you have the same idea as someone, nobody can be a better you. You are unique to whatever the situation is. So do you.
What you're bringing to the table.
I wanna shout out the home team, especially, you know, our sister circle. It's a lot of that goes on in our community, where it's like crabs in a barrel, people jealous of each other. And I'm so glad that I have the people around me that I have. We do not go through no catty bullshit. We don't be jealous of each other or none of that. And we all of us will encourage and support each other on whatever it is. You be like, "Yo, I want to sell ice today." "All right, girl, we're gonna sell some ice."
Right.
We in the chat, like, "You know what? That's a good idea. Do that. Yeah, you should put some watermelon in the ice too." Like, I'm gonna fly a kite today. Like, we're not talking about it, we really living it. So now, I mean, I used to hang around some girls that had issues, or, you know, had competition issues and jealousy and all that. This is why it's important to know what you want, what you ain't, what you don't want to be a part of, and remove yourself from it. Like, everybody think that, you know, women can't get along. When they be hearing like, "Oh, I don't got girlfriends," or "Women can't get along," I be looking like, well, maybe you was around, maybe it's you, one, or maybe you've been around the wrong women. We can't hear you. Can y'all hear her?
No, she's on mute.
You're on mute.
No, I'm sorry. I always say that. It's them.
You was going in, queen.
I always say that when women say that, "Oh, I can't deal with girls and this and that." Don't get me wrong. You know, some people are introverts. They just like to be alone. That's fine. But it's you, when you can't get along with nobody, when you deal with a whole bunch of different people and this and that, you gotta check yourself. Because you so used to being sloppy and messy that you can't get along with people. It's not everybody. It's you. So that's the way I look at it. Because
but you know what? That ain't nothing but a broken person.
Yeah, they broken.
And I tell people all the time, somebody who just can't get along with people, it's something in them that is so broken that they need to really fix in order to be able to gravitate towards people. Because I may be one of the people that get along with like everybody. Like, I could go in a room and you may not like me, but when I leave, you're gonna like me. Because I'm just gonna be so nice to you, and that's just me. But I'm not always nice. Don't get it twisted. I'm still from the hood. But majority of me is still nice. And so I think like a lot of times people always like, "Oh, I don't want to be around females." But then it's like, why? Like, it's something within you that you need to change. We need to change the narrative, because
I hate to hear a girl say that.
Salon, yeah, like if I got a block of nail salons, let's buy this block. Screw renting these buildings. Let's buy this block. Changing your mindset is so powerful. So if you got, I got a non-for-profit, Ayana got a non-for-profit. All right, let's get a building. Like, where does that exist in people's growth mindset? Like, I'm paying rent, you paying rent, let's buy it, and then we have a salon together.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where Black women, especially, and Black people, we got to learn to come together and buy the block.
Yeah.
Forget renting the block. Let's buy the block.
Mm-hmm. And so it brings
on a mission.
Listen, let's do that. I'm down. Listen.
Me and you already, we already had this conversation. We already on it.
So P, so you know what you always be saying. I guess it's sort of like that. You said you can't be trying to change people's mind. So it's not about changing people's mind. It's about getting around like-minded people.
Absolutely.
If you don't, you're gonna be beefing and arguing with people all the time. Like me, I got different cliques and different people, because I always be trying to be like, yo, trying to convince people, like, you think that's right, or that kind of that really makes sense to you in your head. And I wind up, getting myself aggravated, because they be dead serious, like, yeah, that makes sense to me. So, for the most part, my main circle, we pretty much. What you say?
I said they on that type of timing.
Yeah. So the people that I spend the most time with, we are like-minded people. So it's people that I do frequent, maybe not as often as y'all, but that's the thing, getting around like-minded people.
Absolutely. So I wasn't always this most positive person. Me and my best friend, we writing a book, because you're gonna hear some stories about me. Y'all met Purity in her later life and her more mature life. I know a lot of people from the story, and they looking at me like she had grown. I've done a lot of things, and I've been through a lot. And I say God has. So in my book, you're gonna learn a lot of different things and how I evolved. It's all about evolution, evolving, coming full circle.
Evolution.
I've grown a lot, and I'm proud of myself.
But we're proud of you too.
That's the thing.
We are proud of you too, Queen.
I still know the wolves is out, so I'm ready to come.
You ain't that far removed, but
Okay. I got my Vaseline close.
Yes. She ready.
Listen. This is why I said P and I, we're very much similar. We have evolved, but we the two in the crew that ain't that far removed. We might you real close, Fatima. I don't know. You be like, okay. Like, what you say, Ayana?
I said I'm still laying hands on you.
Yes. Don't get it twisted. That's what it's all about. It's about evolving. If you're the same person, or you think the same way that you was thinking 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you need to get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is not cool. Doing the same shit that you was doing. Now, I can see if you was doing something positive, but if you still doing the same or indulging in the same negativity that you was indulging in 10, 20, 30 years ago, get your life together. So now, we're going to bring in our last guest to be introduced, which is my other homegirl. She's also part of the home team. We call her management. She comes in and manage shit.
Disrespectful.
She's the therapist. Let me give y'all a little short story, okay? When you know what story I'm about to share?
Yes,
right?
I know. I ain't gonna never live this shit down.
All of my friends get on my nerves, and I get on theirs. So the moment, the first time, when me and my husband had separated, we had a cookout or whatever, and then the next morning, that's when all shit hit the fan. Cheryl ain't know what was going on. Did you come to the cookout the day before? Yeah, she came to the cookout. I don't know, she left the pocketbook or whatever, but she called the next day in the middle of everything. While I was kicking in the hour and everything, she come over there with her therapist shit, talking to him and all that. So she in the backyard talking to him. I got so mad at Cheryl. I was like, Cheryl, who friend are you? Can you get in here and leave alone? and she like, calm down, Fatima. I need to understand. Do he know what he just did? Like, so when I tell you that she's in full therapist mode at all times, even at family and friends function. But go ahead now, give them your hand, dude.
Okay. So my name is Cheryl. And yes, that is a story I am never gonna live down. But I am a licensed clinical social worker. A therapist is just a different title, but a social worker is a therapist, right? It's just a job title. So my 9 to 5 actually is I work for New York City Department of Education. I lead the Department of Social Workers that go into early childhood education, meaning the daycare centers and the pre-K centers. So that's what I do on my 9 to 5. But what I do on the side, I have therapy business, an online therapy business that I provide therapy online, mostly to women. I have worked with a few men in the past. So how can I start? I would say why I became a therapist. Why I became a social worker, I'll lead with. When I was in middle school, I had got burned by hot water. So I was taken to Cornell Medical Center and I stayed there for about maybe 10 days. And during that time, didn't know what a social worker was, but I met the best social worker in the world at that time that would come to my room every day, take me into what was a playroom and just have conversations with me just about how I was feeling after the burn. And there was people in the burn center that was burned worse than me. And she would just have play groups with us and just have conversations with us. And later on, I ended up finding out that this woman was a social worker. So I always said from then I wanted to be a social worker. And when I was getting my master's in social work, that was one of the requirements that we need therapy. Every social worker in school, you should be seeing a therapist. And I was like, yeah, I don't need no therapist. I am A-okay. I'm not crazy. I'm none of that. But I said, all right, let me go check out this dude. And I went there, it was this gay white man. And I was like, yo, what are you gonna do for me? You don't know nothing that's going on in my head. You don't know nothing. But must say that was the best experience of my entire life. Sitting with Joe, that's what I call him. I see him on the street. I'm like, what up, Joe? He'd be like, hey, Cheryl. But that relationship grew with him to the point where he was able to point things out to me. One, he had the balls to point it out to me to say, yo, you tripping. This is what it is. This is what's happening. And a lot of stuff was old childhood things that I never dealt with, or old childhood ways of dealing with things that I thought was okay. And he was able to say, that's not that you don't have to do it that way. Try this way. And that was a real eye-opening experience for me. And then the work that I ended up getting into with DOE is amazing. Basically, the work that I do now, how I started in DOE, it was an initiative called Trauma Smart. And Trauma Smart is an initiative where you go into early childhood centers, which are daycare centers. Anything below grade 2 is considered early childhood education, where you go and you work with little babies around how to handle trauma. And because what happens is if we don't deal with trauma in our younger age, this is when we see grown, wounded people, right? Yeah. And when I started this initiative and we would go in and work with like little babies and how to deal with, because as children, we learn, especially in our Black communities, like if it's a boy, don't cry, stand up, be a man. And they're like 2, like they're a baby. They're supposed to cry, right? And all of that, they internalize that. We internalize that, and we grow up, and then we have grown men, that's boys, that when they hurt, they can't cry. So we turn to drugs, we turn to alcohol, we turn to punching somebody in the face, because all of that is stuck in here and we haven't learned how to deal with it. So this has, must say, throughout my career, this has been the most rewarding time for me, just really dealing with little babies at this age so that they don't grow up to be wounded individuals, and they know how to cope with trauma from now until adulthood. So that's me in a nutshell. And why I decided to open my therapy business is because I just found that one, the type of therapy that I'm gonna offer you real therapy. If something doesn't sound right to me, I'm gonna say, nah, that doesn't sound right. Let's try again. Let's look at that differently, right? And I found that in Joe, but when I heard other people's experiences with therapy, they didn't have that real therapist that was going to tell them, hey, there's another way. Let's try it this way. What you saying sounds crazy. Let's look at this different. So that's why I did it. And also, when I think about me being a mother and I have 50 million things going on, I don't have time to drive to a therapy office, sit down. So if I can offer that service online, why not?
You know what? It's so funny that you said that, because it is two different methods.
And I need to hire her already. Look.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The first therapist that I went to,
like, man, I need to sign up.
What was what you said? I hate those therapists that be like, so what do you think? So what do you think? And no, I'm coming to you to ask you, am I thinking correctly, or what do you think? So that the first therapist that had annoyed me, you know what I mean? But the second therapist, worked it out. But what I want to say is I'm so happy that you guys are my friends. Y'all so dope. Y'all, y'all doing big things. And I like all of y'all because y'all are working with the youth and making a difference. Because not to say it's over for us, but we need to focus on the youth, because this is our future. What I don't play with, I don't play with kids. I get into argument with friends and family members because people be like, that's not your place. These are my kids. And I'll be like, yeah, but these are the same kids that you're going to let out into society that's either going to help me cross me across the street when I get old or knock me upside my head. Okay. So no, I'm going to render my opinion whether you like it or not. So I just want to commend all of you ladies for working with the youth and trying to make a difference, because they need, you know what they said, it take a village to raise a kid. I hate to hear people be saying, this is my kid, I do what I want and all that. That's the wrong attitude to take. You know what I mean? Everybody got to collectively come together and help these kids be better people, because sometimes you can't talk to your parents, but you could talk to, my mommy friend that's mad cool. I talk to her about anything, or my dad homeboy is like my uncle. So, to have an attitude to say that it's my kid and nobody can't tell me nothing about my kid, that you're already in the wrong. You already have the wrong kind of thinking.
Ignorance is a bliss. Ignorance is a bliss. That's ignorant mentality.
Very ignorant. Very ignorant. But there's so many ignorant people out here that thinks like that. That's the problem, though.
That's because they not healed from their trauma.
It's a major problem.
Happened to them when they was younger, so they don't trust other adults around their kids, which is understandable. But you got to know when somebody's really genuinely trying to help your kid, or
exactly
trying to talk shit and talk behind your back, and
And as a parent, that's a struggle, because I know for me, my mother didn't let me go anywhere as a child. I wasn't sleeping over nobody's house. When friends asked me, can I stay over? My mother said, well, let me speak to their parent. And my mother would be like, does your father sleepwalk? Because my daughter ain't coming over. So those traumas is real.
Ayana is my Scorpio sister. We're like a couple of days apart. We also have so much in common. We sit there and be telling stories, and we're like, oh my God, me too. And that's the same way my mother was. On the block, they used to have pajama parties, take turns going to each other's house. I never could attend because my mother was like, no, I don't know what's going on in those people's houses. I did not spend the night out of my house until I was in junior high school, and it was my old best friend.
I was 16.
My mother came there and did an interview. She literally went up my friend's mother house, asked if the mother had any boyfriends that come over and all. I was just like, are you serious? But now I know why, she took these measures, because thank God, knock on wood, I wanted to get into that piggyback on something about Cheryl. It's a lot of things that we have, a lot of trauma that happen in our community that is not dealt with. And as growing up, I know a lot of people, friends and family members, who have been molested as a kid. And that's one of the common traumas that happen in our community that is not being talked about or dealt with. And I think to myself that, I thank God that I've never, had to go through that. And the reason why is because my mother didn't play with me. And now I know why she was doing the stuff that she was doing. No, you can't go there. No, you can't do that. And I have so many people that have confided in me who have said, that they've been touched by family members, girls and boys.
That's the reason why it's not talked about. That's the reason why it's not talked about a lot, because most of the people who've been molested has been molested by people we know, family members, uncles, cousins, brothers, people that we frequent with. And so that's why it's swept under the rug. We excuse it so much, and we almost, like you said, normalized it. So, and I somebody really close to me was molested, and I was actually, there. I wasn't the one molested, and it was really heart-wrenching. And that brought on the onslaught of other, violence to the family, which resulted in, somebody almost getting fatally injured. So that was very traumatizing. And I never will, forget that experience. But it was, again, by somebody who was very close to the family that we considered, family. And so that's why it's really hard. And for me, I have two boys. I don't have any little girls. I have two beautiful nieces. But even with my boys, I think
I was just about to say boys get molested too.
Even with my boys, even these days, right. But I think I'm so nervous because of what I seen. You know what I'm saying? Even with some people, I will not let my boys go. I've had, opportunities to, have them go away for the summer or do certain things. It's so hard for me. I literally can't rest if they do go, because I'm just always thinking, like, who's coming in their house or what people are doing. You never know, what's actually going on. So it's crazy, you brought that up.
Something about what you just said about you having boys. I want us to stop minimizing that. In our community, we are taught to protect the young girls from predators and molesters. And this is why we got so many adult men with stories about that some of them, confide in their girlfriends or their wives or whoever. There is a lot of grown men out here that have been touched and molested as a boy, because you know why? A lot of the mothers take emphasis on protecting their daughter, and then think that it's okay, that their son could be with this one and that one. And that's why a lot of these little boys, wind up getting touched too. So I feel like we need to get into the mindset of it doesn't matter if you have a daughter or a son. Protect the
Absolutely.
kids, be vigilant, and watch everybody, because not only is little boys being molested by only men, I mean, not just men, they're being molested by women too. So yes. It's like, we cannot let them fall short on, the protection too. The little boys need to be protected and the little girls need to be protected.
Agreed.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. I definitely agree.
Okay, so
we got so much healing to do in our community. It's
yes,
a lot. It's a lot.
Yes,
so we need open discussions, open ongoing help, ongoing referrals, ongoing support. That's what the Precise Sense of Hope is about. Ongoing support. We gotta start supporting one another. We gotta be there for each other. We gotta direct each other in the right places and in the right directions. We gotta be each other's team. We gotta mention out each other in places and rooms where we could build each other up. We gotta start looking out for one another. We gotta start building.
And most important, we gotta start communicating better.
I just want to piggyback on something Cheryl said, because I think you hit something that's so vital in our community. You said when we think about the little boys and we be like, don't cry, right? And they're a baby. And so they bottle those emotions up, and those babies become teenagers. Then they become men, and they don't know how to communicate. And then as women, we're frustrated because they can't effectively communicate with us or effectively express themselves, but they were never taught. They were never taught. And then we got to go through that process. And some have it, right? Some men have it, but you have a lot of men, Black men, that don't have it. So I think it's so important that we get out of that mentality of when your child cry, let them cry, right?
Yes.
Men cry, let them cry, right? Maybe walk out the room and give them the space to sit in that and marinate in that. But it's so important because as you think about us women, we get so frustrated, but we got to take a time and think about, were they taught these, or are these things that we're requesting of them, are they even comfortable with? And then we're talking about therapy for us, then what do they need?
Exactly.
My whole family, we all went for therapy.
And
I'm a big advocate for that.
That was the program, like with Trauma Smart, where they really went in and showed these little babies different emotions, right? Because that's the thing. Eventually, after you've seen so much different emotions and trauma, everything starts to look the same, and you can't tell, right? That's why a lot of Black people, we don't realize it. When we're in danger, we either fight, flight, or freeze, right? That's our reaction when we're in danger. When we don't know how to deal with our emotions and we're always nervous, we're in that part of our brain, either flight, or freeze, right? And that causes inflammation in our system. And we don't know how to cope with it. That's why you see, like, that's where anxiety comes from. That's where a lot of these things come from. It's not knowing how to deal with what's happening inside here. So when you're a little baby and you're like, and they like, stop. Eventually you stop, but it doesn't stop what's going on in here. It just stays in there, and it's damaging us. That's why you see some of us eat food. We have addiction to food. And I'm not saying an addiction to food, but we're always eating, or we're always drinking. We're always smoking. This is how we learn to cope with whatever we never dealt with. And then sometimes we were talking about some big traumas here, right? Those are big traumas. Being molested is a big trauma, but there's other traumas that we don't look at as trauma that children go through, right? Let's say they live with their grandmother, mommy and grandma, or whoever and grandma. Grandma passes away. That's a trauma. That child will never see that person again and doesn't understand death. They don't get it. So that's a trauma, right? Let's say we move from apartment A to house whatever. For the parents, it's like, oh, we moved up in the world, we done got ourselves a house. But for that child, that's a trauma, because they knew this place and now they're in a whole nother place. They don't understand it.
It's funny that you said that, because
what you just now said.
What you just said is something, because my kids, I didn't understand that. You just enlightened me on that, because we moved maybe like almost 2 years ago. And, in my head, I'm like, you guys have your own room. You're going to have your own space. And I was just hyping it up. And I thought, wow, they are going to be ecstatic about this. And they was like, why do we have to move from our old house? And I'm like, well, don't you like having your own room? And even, Dallas, he stay in my room. It's for some reason he will not he does not like that room. He's like, no, I like my old house. You know, the other house had this.
Hi,
or the other
everybody
house,
on Instagram that's
they
joining in.
consistently talk about that house. And I'm like, this is the better house. We got more room. You guys have a, you know, a whole different setup. The friends over here nice. They still be like, no, it ain't it for us.
And
I'm
you
like,
know what else she just now? You know what else she just piggybacked on that is a trauma that we all probably have dealt with. And, you know, we're all within the same age bracket. You know, you guys are all older than me because I'm 26, but the rest of you old heads.
Oh my God.
I know y'all not older than me, but you know, all of us have experienced some sort of death. How many of us have went to therapy? You know, I lost my dad when I was a toddler. I never spoke to no therapist or nothing like that. What you just now said is important. I mean, it's very thing like that is traumatizing to a kid. And most of us grew up in a culture where a parent or grandparent died, and the adults just tell us, you know, they went to heaven and they never coming back, and that's just that. And no, there's nothing else after that. And we're just walking around. I'm gonna be honest with you. My dad got killed when I was a toddler, and I really didn't even understand death. I always thought that I had an imagination. I always thought that he faked his death and that he's gonna come back in my life when we get older. Like, cause nobody really explained to me, what do you mean that he's dead and he's never coming back? So I was thinking like, oh no, he's just fake dead and he's gonna come back later. So some of us who really don't know how to explain situations or deal with situations, this is why we have professionals that are trained in that. We have to get out of that habit of, oh, we don't do that. That's not what we do in our culture. Oh, my kid's gonna be all right, or I'm gonna be all right. No, these people went to school for all these years and they have all these experiences. Utilize it and stop acting like you know everything. And you know, I didn't get this, or they don't need it. No, I love my mother to death, but there's some things that there's some parenting skills that I would not do that she did. I hate for people to say, oh, my parent did it, so I'm gonna do it. Yo, our parents weren't the best parents, and it's okay to say that. Y'all shake your head, but y'all all on mute. You know we can't hear y'all.
No,
this is y'all was all on mute. I'm like, do they know they on mute?
You are right. You're right. It's all about breaking the generational curses.
Yes.
It is. And it's
what we big thing. We're here to break the generational curse.
Big thing is I want to point out, because I know some people like, so I did it. Why can't these people do it? Right. It's also about resilience, right?
Yes.
You can take two children and they grew up the same way, and they can turn out very differently.
That happened in my household,
right? In the sense of resilience, there are some that can bounce back from their traumas, and there's others that find different ways of coping with their trauma. And it's not to say, huh?
You're the professional. What are some of the things that people normally do to cope with the undealt trauma?
Like I said, I named some of them. We know some of them. It's like alcohol, right? It may be somebody being promiscuous, right? It may be somebody never trusting another person. That's a way to deal with it. I don't trust nobody. So that can be one way. Food is another way, where people eat themselves, just eat to cope with whatever is in here. It can be hoarding things. Like, you ever see hoarders? Half of the time, those people on hoarders, something caused them to begin piling up stuff in their house. What else? Getting in unhealthy relationships. That's another way of coping with it. You'll be with the same person time and time again. The face just changed. That's all. Right? Another way of dealing with it. So that's why, like, when people say, oh, like, their parents was on drugs and they can't forgive them, you have to think about what that parent went through. right? You only see them when they had you, but you don't know their life prior to you and what they had to deal with and why they use that.
How they even ended up there.
Exactly.
Yes, that's why it's important for us to share certain things with our children. We have to share things that, that we're going through with our children so that we don't recreate like what we went through. Like I never knew I didn't know that my mother had went through child molestation and things like that until I got older and things. So we have to find moments where we can share those things with our children, not to protect them so much because they need to know why we do what we do. Or like if we move from another area so we could be better. Like why are we doing what we're doing? Whatever it is, we have to have open discussions with our children and not say, oh, that's just grown folk talk. It's not grown folk talk if it has something happening in the family. So we have to move away from that other generational curse because parents back in the day didn't discuss none of that. Like this is what I'm doing and this is what I said. No, we have to communicate.
Even I had a client one time, grown man. When I say grown man, I mean like in his 50s, he was addicted to drugs. And
hold on, I want to give the number in case anybody wanted to call in. Anybody want to call in? The number is 929-257-1552. I'm sorry we haven't been reading the comments and stuff because I'm just letting everybody have their spill. But I'm reading, I see the comments, guys.
Say it again.
The number is 929, y'all can pin it. 929-257-1552. Anybody that want to, because I know we're not reading all the comments. So if you guys want to call in and have a conversation on the phone, we can do that too. Join in this conversation.
What's the last four of the number? 929-257-1552. Okay, I'm putting it on.
I don't know how to pin it, but I posted it.
Okay.
Got it. So, like I said, and this man was a very grown man in his 50s, but addicted to drugs. And when he told me his story, it was like, wow, in my head, didn't say this to him, but he had no chance. From a child to a 50-year-old man. The odds was stacked against him to the point where how else could you cope? If there was no one positive in your life to show you what was a healthy relationship, what was a healthy attachment. And the only thing he found that was healthy was drugs. That helped him. That helped him deal with the pain. It helped him suppress the pain because when he smoked crack, he didn't have to think about the horrible, horrific thing that his parents did to him. But it's like, okay, makes sense to me, sir. Like, I get it now. I understand you. Right. And, so I just want to bring up resilience because sometimes we see some people and we're like, well, I did it. Why can't they? Everybody is made differently. What some people can bounce back
so
from,
that
people can't.
True, absolutely.
So that's something I want to piggyback on.
That's me and Fatima biggest argument. I always tell her. Everybody.
Yes.
That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Everybody heals different. You can't tell people how to heal.
And different times.
Different times.
No, but not only that. Me and this one have debates too because I felt like a lot of stuff that these adults have went through, is because of the parents, and she disputes that. Now my thing is this: she said because she know people that grew up with parents that were crackheads, drug addicts, and this, that, and the third. At the end of the day.
And it
still affected them, but some people still push through, or some people use that
people, like resilience. It's not the parents' fault.
Huh?
Right. Not always the parent fault. Sometimes it is.
No. I'm not saying it's not. It's not always the parents' fault, but it's a lot. A lot has to do with how these parents raised them and what they allowed them to do, what they put them through, and all of that. And now they grew up as adults and they all messed up and stuff. And the parents don't want to take no responsibility for the role that they play. But when they become successful, when they come successful and they're like football players or singers or this, that, and the third, that's my baby. They want to take all the credit. But then when the child is fucked up or end up in jail or gang or nothing, they don't want to take no accountability to what role that they put their kid in that path to take it. They only want to take credit for success, but they don't want to take any credit for the failure.
No, you're right, but that's all about healing. Like that's why I tell families and people, even with my family, we have to go and heal individually, and then we can go heal as a group. And until everybody's willing to go heal individually, nobody's going to heal as a group. So that's with the traumatic that we're trying to break, the generational curses.
And forgiveness is huge in healing, because sometimes you're not going to be able to get that I'm sorry from the other person. They may not be here to tell you I'm sorry. They may have passed on, or maybe they just here and was like, it is what it is. You can't accept. You have to forgive for yourself and move on.
So
sometimes.
you're so right. As the professional on the panel right now, what kind of advice do you give? Because I know a lot of people who have dealt with a lot of trauma through their childhood with their parents, and they want to heal. And anytime they even try to talk to their parent about how their parent made them feel, what their parent would put them through, the parent be like, that's in the past. I don't want to talk about that. Like, just dismiss them and don't even let them express how what you did made me feel this kind of way. So when you come and you get clients like that, like, we trying to get some free therapy right here. Like, what do you tell them?
I was just gonna tell you therapy, right? But no, all jokes aside, right? And this is for me too, right? You know, I love my mother to death, and I believe she was like the best mother ever. But at the same time, she made mistakes, and she'll tell us that now when it comes to her grandkids. When we try to do certain things, she'd be like, well, I didn't know better then. I know better now, right? But the point is, I chop it up and say, your parents did the best they could with the knowledge that they had. They did the best they could do, right? But when it comes to your healing, it's time for the person to go to therapy and work out whatever that trauma is, and for themselves. You can't change your mother. You can't change your father. You can't go back and change the hands of time. You just have to say, listen, they did the best they could have done with the knowledge that they had. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, they still did something. They brought you into this world and you still living. They ain't kill you like in a week. You're still here.
Like
so there was good.
Right.
Yeah, there was good that came out of that. But when it comes to your healing, you're gonna have to chalk that up. You may never get that sorry from your parent, because they didn't. True. What are they sorry for? They didn't know any better.
Well, let me tell y'all this.
And I would say this is a lot of time is we gotta love them where they are. Yes. Right? We got this envision of what we want them to be and who we want them to be. And like you said, they didn't know. They did with what they had. Back in the day, they didn't have all these resources that we have. So we got to love them where they are. And then we got to say, you know what? I want better. I want to do better. I want to see better. And then I got to change me and stop focusing on, because I may not never get that sorry, but I got to love you where you at. And then I got to know that I'm more than what I went through. And a lot of times we so worried about that sorry, but you ain't even healing.
But listen, and speaking from my situation, that's easy said, but you know, when my mom
oh God.
We losing you.
Yeah, I can't.
Is it hers? Is it my Wi-Fi?
You know.
No, it's her.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, oh my God.
I wanted to know why she abandoned me. You understand?
Black, we didn't hear anything you said. You froze.
So I couldn't understand. Me?
Yeah, Black.
You back.
I'm back.
Gotta start all over.
We didn't hear anything. You froze.
Okay. So I was saying to her that when she was saying that we gotta love them, you know, love your parents where they are now, and saying that they did the best that they can. But when you young and you're being traumatized by their behavior and you're needing your parents, and you know, in my case, it was a issue of abandonment because my mom was on drugs and she was never really there. You understand? So as I matured, I wanted to have some closure. Now, you know, my mother's response to it was exactly what you guys said. Listen, I'm grown. That's what had happened. That was in the past. She didn't really want to open up and didn't want to talk about it. So, you know, fast forward to maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I really, had some time. She came and stayed with me, and we really had some one-on-one time, because this time she came and visited for quite a few months. And so I said, Mom, what we went through, it was really, really hurtful or whatever, but I really want to know, what was going on in your head. I want to hear the spill and I want to hear the story. So finally she opened up to me and she said, I fucked up, like I fucked up. I was out there. I had you. I got pregnant with you, Lakeisha, when I was 16 years old. I was in no way, shape, or form in my mind ready to be a mother. I was just chasing fun and all of this kind of stuff. And you think that I abandoned you when I was on drugs, but I really tapped out when I was 16. You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't in no position to abort you. There wasn't no type of situation that we was even considering back in those days. But I left you to your grandmother and your grandfather. So to her, in her head, I wasn't really, you understand what I'm saying? I wasn't really her responsibility. Her responsibility was having fun, partying, whatever. And she just got caught up in that life of excitement. And so it went from this drug to that drug to this drug. It just escalated because it started with the weed. From the weed, it went to this, and it went to the cocaine. Then from the cocaine, here come the crack. And then that was just like what she couldn't come back from that, So she didn't render me a sorry. What she said was, pretty much, she repented with God for it. Whatever happened. She just dealt with it the best way she could. And, she's sorry for the way I feel, but she did say something significant to me. It was like, Keisha, you got to let go of that. You got to heal. You got to let go of that within yourself, because I made my peace. Because me and my brother argument was, well, damn, you act like you don't even care. You abandoned, da, 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 da. She's like, well, you're not going to run my life down now that I changed and I done gave it to God. I repented for my sins. So now you got to come to terms with that. Y'all not going to keep on every time we get into an argument or every time something come up, you going to keep on throwing in my face, I wasn't there. Hell yeah, I wasn't there, but I'm here now. So what, y'all got to move on. You and your brother got to get past this thing.
Everybody has to heal, and that goes back to healing individually. Yes. Everybody has to heal individually and then as a group, because she's the punching bag. She healed, but you guys still haven't healed. So you're gonna go on these sessions and always be a punching bag. And that's what I cannot do. I always tell myself we gotta heal individually and then as a group, because all it's gonna be is a punching bag section. Yeah. Everybody's not healed individually.
And that was my closure. Once she gave me that, once she told me that and put it to me like that, then I completely understood, especially now that I'm a mother, because I tap out on a lot of shit too with my mothering. It's like certain thing, I'm like, look, I got this covered, but this part I just can't get covered. And y'all got to give me a break. And this is how I got to deal with it right now. So I get it now, And so that was my closure. And that made me realize it.
Whoever her therapist was did a very good job, because she set that boundary where y'all are not going to keep on holding me to this mistake. I'm done. Y'all need to figure that out. I figured it out for me. Now you figure it out for you. And whoever brought her to that point did a very good job, because some people live in that and then they go back. That's how the relapses happen, because it's like people are holding them to, well, you did this, and then they start feeling guilty. All right, well, I ain't gonna never, but whoever did that did a really good job for her.
Yeah, she did it herself, but that was my
she
closure.
Definitely did it herself, but who helped her along?
Yes, but that was closure for me. And that is when I officially began my healing. So I said, okay, Ma, you put that, you said that right, because we are bringing up your past because we're hurt. It's not that you're hurt, because we couldn't figure it out. We kept saying, damn, why she not acting like she care? We wanted her to be every 5 minutes. Oh, I was on the crack. I'm gonna give you $5 extra. I'm gonna come do this and do that. She's like, no, I'm not giving y'all no extra shit or no sympathy or that. Y'all get out my face with that. Y'all figure it out and man up. And let's get our future relationship. Let's be mother and daughter and everything like that. And from that point on, we got the best.
She's probably a dope grandma, right?
Huh?
probably a dope grandma, right?
She is.
Yeah, but
She's
don't
a
know.
dope mom. She's a dope mom.
When I told you that my mom had 3 kids by 17, minus the drugs, I went through that. She was 3 kids, 17. She used to party. She was never home. My uncle always used to take care of us. When I became 21 is when I let go of my mom not being the mom that I thought she should be. And I loved her where she was at. And she's the best grandmother I could have ever asked for to my son and to other kids. So that's why when I say we got to love them where they at, I'm you me. We just had a little extra. So I had to meet her and love her where she was at and stop putting my interpretation of what I wanted her to be and accept her for exactly who she was. And when I was able to do that, I got the best out of my mother that I could have ever asked for. And that's why I say a lot of times we got to love them where they are. We can't have this, we can't have this cloud over their head. If we meet them where they are and accept things, and then we will learn that they're going to give us what we need.
And that's why what all of us are doing makes us so dope. For the things that we went through to give back to the community and give back to these kids, we pouring into them what we wish we had and what we know that they need. So that's what makes us dope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's why I couldn't have picked a better panel for this show. All of y'all are making a difference in the youth. Live now.
No more
What you said, Pete?
I said we turning trials into triumphs, turning victims into victors.
Yes.
No more victim mentality. We victory.
Wow,
Yes.
like my new initiative is like my mother and daughter thing, and then my father and son thing for Mother's Day and Father's Day, because families are broken, right? This old single family household, like what? No, like, so we're gonna create this space this year for mothers and daughters to spend quality time with each other for 4 hours. Quality time, y'all gonna eat, y'all gonna paint, y'all gonna have fun, y'all gonna love on each other. Whether you 50 and 21 or you 7 and
or 26 like me.
Yes. Right, like on Mother's Day, we have a sip and paint brunch, and we could bring a family back.
I'm bringing my niece. She the same age as me, 26.
That's okay. That's right. You somebody she looking up to, right? And that influence is so important. And the same thing with the father and son day on Father's Day. How many fathers spend time and just play basketball with their son? They talk about it, they watch it, but how many of y'all really take the time out and go on the court or just sit around each other and eat and laugh and talk about it? We don't have that. So we got to create that space to give them that, to say, you know what, there are some great Black men and great Black fathers who may be uncles and cousins that have, you know, these kids that look up to them and create that space for them. So it's so important. I know for us at Life and Power, we bring a family back. Like that not having that family exist. No. We bring in family
and
back.
Sometimes family ain't about blood either.
Nope, it's not. Family has nothing to work with.
We are a family of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like that's what, because some people get, some people get discouraged because they may be the only child, so they don't have no nieces or nephews. Man, I got biological nieces and nephews, but I got a whole bunch of other nieces and nephews that ain't, biologically mine. So sometimes you're not born into the family that you want to be born into, but you could create your own family.
Absolutely. I like that mentality.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree.
Absolutely. So yes,
I'm a miss this year because I'm gonna be in
back.
Disney, but I will be there next year for the.
Oh, you're not coming this year? Oh.
No, this year I'm not coming. Yeah,
take me with you
for my son's birthday. The baby, I was supposed to take him last year because of COVID. We couldn't go, so we're gonna do it this year.
Okay, cool. Well, happy birthday, baby.
Yes.
Yeah. But yes, we me and my bright ideas, and Simone gonna kill me because I'm always like, Simone. But I definitely think, as women navigate out of COVID, we was at home with our kids, but was we really spending that time doing something fun? Sometimes we was, and then sometimes we wasn't. I'm a mom. My son I would be annoyed and be like, "What are you doing in your room?" Right? Like, that's just the reality of it. So I just want to make sure that we go out of what was our norm that might be our norm, and we can just have some fun together.
It's cool time to your turn. I'm sorry, y'all.
That sounds good, Nicole. I'm so proud of you, and you are so busy. Your organization.
Yes, Nicole,
You come out
you
to
know,
the
all our
organization and you're
nerves.
like, what in the world? We don't have enough events, but that's okay. I'm not trying to keep up. I'm staying in my lane.
Right.
Listen,
I'm
Nicole,
here to
anytime,
We need time so we could attend her events.
I
We
was
need
gonna say,
pauses.
anytime Nicole come up with a bright idea, we wind up being busy. Like, oh,
Yes.
okay. And you know, I'm the person that y'all got to keep on reminding of the day of.
Yes, no, we need reminders for the themes. You need to like put.
What was it? 2 days before, I be scrambling like, oh my God.
Well, the Mother's Day theme is casual formal, okay? So you got it now.
Okay.
No hoodies, no jeans. Like we showing up. We don't gotta wear gowns, but we showing up and showing out.
She wants you in a ballroom dress with some chucks on. That's what they do. They always love themes. Boys with a theme. I can't with them. They gonna be in that park elegant as what? I can't wait to
right.
See.
We ready.
We gotta always have a theme. It wouldn't be me and Simone.
Yeah,
It's really
Simone is the theme queen.
It's really Simone.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
It be Simone. It really be Simone.
Everything is a color. Everything is a theme. It's always. I'm like.
But so for Mother's Day, we do have a color theme, and now.
Oh Lord.
What's the color theme for Mother's Day?
Look, they don't even know.
Oh, wait a minute. It's the color theme.
It's purple, pink, black, white, and silver.
See, I didn't even get that part of the memo.
Right, we didn't get that memo.
You don't have to wear that. You don't have to wear that. You don't have to wear it.
Oh my God.
Yes, you do. Don't be an outcast.
They're whole sorority, right?
No, you don't have to wear it, but if you want to, you can. But this is
okay.
No.
Wait a minute. Are you freestyling like that? Literally was in the details of the
No. We picked the color theme, but you don't have to wear it.
I was about to say, like, I know I was stuff, but I didn't know any of
it.
You wear what you want as long as it's casual or formal. That's it. You don't gotta wear no ballroom gown, but you just can't wear no hoodie. Like, it kind of,
So I want to thank you, ladies. You guys were great. I enjoyed the how long do we have left?
11 minutes. Can I just talk about my
we're not done. I just want to thank y'all so much for coming on the show. And this was great content. And this is a good way to end Women's History Month. You know, y'all powerful Black entrepreneurs that's giving back and making a difference to the youth in our community. And if nobody don't give y'all credit, I am. And you know, I'm the one that say, you know, I'm the truth teller in the circle. I love y'all and I love everything that y'all doing. Every last one of y'all.
Even though you like the great debater.
Right.
Because if I didn't like it, you know, I will be saying, I don't really like that you do.
Oh,
you know?
Lord, trust me, we already know.
She hashtag keep it real queen. Right. We had our moment. We won't talk about that, Fatima. That's behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Y'all know I'm annoying with it.
Oh, big time.
Hold on. Cheryl, don't shake your head. All right, so Cheryl, y'all my man, y'all all my home team, but Cheryl don't really flex with y'all like that. But Cheryl, we call her management. I don't even know how me and her get along. She worse than me. But she think I'm worse than her.
Yeah, you're a little bit worse than me. You're a little bit worse.
See, we're gonna have this debate. But this is what it's all about. You gotta have people around you that's gonna keep it real. You gotta have people around you that's gonna uplift you at the same time, pull you up on your rights, congratulate you when you doing good. It's not that I'm just that person that just always want to tell somebody, you know, when they wrong or whatever. Y'all all can contest that I'm not number one supporter, but y'all know anything y'all want to do, I'll be like, let's do it.
You're a great support system. Yes, you are.
So that's why it's got to be balanced. Yes, y'all want somebody to agree with. Y'all know I'm not the friend to call if you just want somebody to say yes, you're right. If you right,
I'm like that too, though. I'm that friend. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, me and you are very similar on that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say yes. I'm giving it to you, Raw.
It's a very balanced circle. We got the diplomats. We got the nice sweetie pie.
Well-rounded.
Right, yes. Depending on how you want the message delivered, that's who you call. Like,
Yeah.
this shit raw and uncut. Let me call Fatima. Oh, I want this nice. Let me ask Leisha.
Right.
Yes.
Yes,
But we all stay booked and busy.
My friend Shauna said she enjoyed the show. I got Tanika, I got Siobhan on. These are my girls.
Shout out some of the people that's on
They
the
gotta
line.
come on the show one day. They got a lot of stories to tell. They got a lot of things that they've been through and did in their life that they could share too. So,
and I want to apologize to everybody for the feedback. But they saying there's no feedback that's on the that's on Facebook on the Zoom. So all those that's on the Instagram page, if y'all want to watch the whole show without the feedback, is going to be uploaded into YouTube at the Sadior SADIOR radio page. And then you look underneath Uncensored, and then you will find all our previous shows and this show. So I do apologize for y'all saying the echoing that y'all hearing on the Instagram. But we didn't want to stop it because it's not echoing on Facebook and on through the Zoom. So again, y'all can just go back and watch the show on YouTube.
Okay. Can we share the events that's coming up? I know I have one coming up in the end. Let's hear Nicole, and then Purity have the most recent ones coming up.
Yes.
Nicole, you want to share your 2 events?
Yes. So we have the Mother's Day Sip and Paint Brunch on May 9th at 309 Park. And basically it's just going to be mothers and daughters coming together. They're going to have a full brunch menu, and then we're going to paint a silhouette of a mother and a daughter. And we're just going to spend some time. We have photographers coming out that's going to take some great pictures that you can have as a keepsaver for you and your daughter, your niece, or whoever you decide to bring out. Unfortunately, that event is closed. It got full in 3 days.
Yes.
Posted it on a website.
Some people will hit me up. I said, I told y'all.
Yeah, it went, and when I say full, we're not talking 50 people. We're talking about over 75 people. That filled up in 3 days. And then
hold on. That's all right. I got me a new mask. So we don't got a social distance. Look.
A mess.
And
I could be at that 75 people. It's okay.
It's a little bit over 75, but don't worry about it. It's fine. The park is huge. So it's a huge park. And then we have the Father's Day basketball and softball cookout. And that's basically if you want to sign up your son to play against, or your nephew or your cousin, someone that you know you are a real big impact in their lives, you can visit the website and you can sign up for the basketball game, or you can sign up for the softball game. And it's free food. So we have like
free food, y'all hear that? Free food. You gotta say that louder. You know, Black folks like that, you know. What they say there about free?
Yes, that's right. It's good free food. And one thing about us at Life and Power, all our events are free. Like the Mother's Day Sip and Paint Brunch is completely free. Everything we do is free as far as like the community part. Is going to be free that we're going to do, whether it's feed the homeless or book bag drive. We have our book bag drive that we're gearing towards 450 families. I do that with Monet's Closet as well as Simone. So we have some really great things coming up for the year. I would just encourage everybody to visit the website at lifeempowered.org to get all information and resources that you may need. Leave me a message if it's something that you feel like you want to do. This year we are going to feed the homeless in Brownsville and in Bed-Stuy.
Oh God, get your bulletproof vest.
I can't wear her.
Get some love in Brownsville this year. If you went to I know y'all was at our Thanksgiving one, we fed 300 families the day before Thanksgiving. So we still gonna do that, but then we're gonna add another 300 families in Brownsville. We're gonna go show Brownsville.
Amazing.
But yeah, just visit the website. I thank you for this space. I thank you for this platform, and just keep supporting us because we here to serve.
Yes.
We got work to do.
Purity?
My annual mental health discussion for Precise around her birthday, I do every year in April. This year is going to be Zoom because of, COVID and social distancing, and I don't want to book places and they limit us to limited people, and I usually like to feed everybody and we come together and talk. But it's going to be on April 10th from 5 to 7. I have some amazing ladies that I grew up with in Astoria. They're going to share their stories and their triumphs and what they're doing to help, you know, and give back, and what they're doing, you know, to move forward in their healing journey. So it's going to be interesting, and we encourage everybody to come share their stories, come chop it up with us, give us some advice. Let's talk. You know, it's a non-judgmental place. It's going to be on Zoom. You could go on the site at foreverprecise.org and sign up and register. And closer to the date, I'm going to send a link. And we also got our Double Dutch Tournament book bag giveaway in August, the beginning of August coming up. And we're going to feed everybody free food, free event, giving out book bags, having the Double Dutch competition, get your teams ready. And
Nice.
that's what we're going to do.
Hold on, I almost forgot this. Shout out to all the Aries there. A big shout out to Vanessa, who house I'm at. She turned a big 60 tomorrow. We're going to turn up.
Yes.
So happy birthday to Vanessa.
Put it on the camera, because all the people watching from Astoria know Vanessa. Tell her to say hi. She don't want to get
Vanessa,
on.
they said come to this camera for every people that's on the story on the line. She got her bonnet on, but she ready for war. Her bonnet on. She got her Danae Jackson bonnet on, left front.
You funny.
Got some stories too.
She got some Astoria people on the line.
Yeah.
Come this. Oh.
So it's www.foreverprecise.org is the website you can go on and register.
Okay, you can sit at the chair.
Oh, she got me sitting in a golden chair. Hi.
Hi, Vanessa.
Happy birthday.
That's
Thank
my
you.
neighbor.
She got her bonnet on. She ready.
I don't feel
125 in the building.
Thank you, ladies. Y'all so
Happy
great.
You're
Hi,
welcome.
Kitty.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
And you?
I'm good. I'm
The
good.
family.
Hanging in there.
We got the
That's
big,
good.
we got to end the show with the big OG. You know, the big
Yes.
OG had to come bless the show for her 60th birthday.
Yes.
Looking
God
good.
bless.
looking
You guys
good.
have coming up?
Yes, so my organization, we do a youth conference every year annually, so we're gearing up to that. This year, we most likely will do it virtually, and we host a pitch contest. So this year, we're focusing on social equity and financial literacy, letting people know, you know, that we need equal pay, equality for people of color. So our pitch contest is going to be surrounded something like that, where youth will come up with an idea to combat social equity. So I'll be looking for judges, I'll be looking for sponsors. We usually give away a laptop and other materials, a financial.
So can your close friends win the laptop too?
The youth summit and pitch contest is for middle school and high school students. So we're looking to do, we usually host this.
But 26-year-olds can't win?
No, but you could be a judge.
Oh God.
Be a
But do
judge.
the judges win?
I want to be in there. I'm
give you a hug. Also, I have my book, Dare to Dream Leaders, Inc. presents Beyond Career Day. And this is an extension of the organization because we can't be everywhere. So if you purchase the book, it has all the things that we teach, how to be an entrepreneur, financial literacy, credit score, all that good stuff. And special letters and affirmations are in here as well. So if you have middle school or even high school students, you can get this online, Amazon.
Even don't have any kids, you can buy it and give it as a gift to somebody, because these kids learn how to finance their money early. So we don't just get thrown out there like we did.
Absolutely.
Not for kids.
Yes,
Right.
I need to
I'm
change that, right?
Because I'm very uneducated on financial.
Right, you right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was right there.
And again, thank you, Fatima, for having us.
You can use the book.
Thank you, Fatima. Thank you, Cheryl, Ayana, Nicole.
Yes, all of you. I learned so much. This was so good.
Thank you,
Yes, it was quick.
everybody. I don't have any events going on, but what I'm going to say is therapy. Again, if therapy does not mean you have a mental illness, therapy is just a place for you to go to process, talk to somebody that's not your friends, right? Because our friends, no matter how much they say they're not judgmental, there's still a little judgment there.
Right.
Therapy is a place that person don't know you, you don't know them. You can be as 100% honest with them. If you can't be with somebody you know, it's just a place for you to process whatever is going on with you or understand things differently. So I am pro therapy, and again, finding the person, like Fatima touched on and Purity touched on, finding the person that works for you. Is not a one size fits all, right? And when you do find a therapist, be honest. Don't go sitting up in nobody chair lying, because you're not going to get nothing out of it.
Gonna help lying and
Absolutely.
stuff inside. Yeah.
So,
hold on,
go,
I don't want to. I feel like Cheryl, you cutting my throat because you know I'm the hood therapist. So
she like, don't listen to Fatima.
Right, until y'all find a real therapist, your girl's still here.
Yes, and for the meantime, Fatima, don't be diagnosing nobody. Don't do none of that.
Right.
Yo, I'm about to get me a prescription pad next week. I ordered it off the Amazon. Y'all still holler at me, okay? I know y'all may want somebody more professional, but I'm your girl until you find that perfect therapist.
Oh God,
I'm handing out the perks
when they go to their therapist.
Go to the professional.
But there's therapists. If you guys want to, you guys can look on Psychology Today. There's tons of therapists there.
Can we refer them to you, Cheryl? Do you have
Yes, you can. You know, I'm not gonna put, because I may not be the therapist for everybody, but
at least they have that option.
Yeah,
right. Put your stuff, put your contact information on the Facebook chat.
Sure. And there's also Black Girls Therapy. If you want a therapist that look like you, there's a link for Black Girls Therapy.
Yeah.
So is there one for Black men? Because I know we had this discussion on my page a couple of weeks ago. A lot of men, I think it was on the show where Roscoe was on there too, and they were saying how they don't want to, a lot of men don't want to go to therapy and talk to no white man that can't sympathize or understand where they're coming from. So do you know of any like a list of Black male therapists?
Yeah, they have them online on Instagram too.
There's Black male therapists, absolutely, and I know of a few, but this is not a male dominated field. It's predominantly women, not just Black women. It's just predominantly women, and most of it, social work is a white field. There's very few, there's Black social workers, don't get me wrong, but it's predominantly white social workers. Even when I was going to school, I think I was like the only, when I went for my master's, I was like maybe the one Black person in the class. So it's a predominantly white field. But they are Black therapists out there, definitely.
But sometimes a white person can help you too, from being on.
Yes, like I told you about my job.
My second therapist was a white man that helped me. The Black guy didn't help me. The white man helped me.
Yeah. So
sometimes it's not about the color; it's about the fit and how they fit with you. Because I had a white, person that helped me as well.
Yeah,
it's all about the fit.
Sorry, Ayana, you saying the politically correct word, Caucasian. I said the white guy. Yes, it was a Caucasian therapist.
You make me sick. It's just about the fit.
I'm sorry, Caucasian people, if y'all listening.
Yeah, don't limit yourself saying you just want somebody of color.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Because my therapist was a white gay man, and that was like the best therapist.
Cheryl just pinned her information for those who
I put it in Zoom, but
it's okay. I'll copy it and take it over.
Okay. All right, guys. So the show is over. I'm hungry. They eating all in front of me, went behind me in the back, and I'm ready to eat. So it's past 9 o'clock. I want to thank everybody that listened and chimed in. I want to thank all the ladies on the panel for coming in and sharing your story. And I will see you guys next.
We did that on cue.
Next 2 weeks, okay? And all those out here that want to tell anybody about the show who might have missed the show, they can go to the YouTube pages on the Sadior Radio, and you can look up Uncensored and Thick Girls Radio. That we were formerly known as Thick Girls Radio. So y'all can always check all the old shows out there. So everybody, good night.
Good night.
Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm about to eat.
It's over. We got work to